from Guardians of the Galaxy. You can use it as a birthday cake or just any kind of celebration. But this, I wanted to show you first the ingredients, and there will be a list of ingredients in the description of this video, so you can take a look at that. So we're just going to start out with what you'll need, and this is a 16-ounce plastic container from Walmart. It's like a Cool Whip container, and as you can see, it's about the size of what you'd put a potted plant in. So it's the container for the baby Groot. So that's the first thing. It's a 16-ounce plastic container. You don't need to use this one, but you do need something that has a light plastic that you can cut away. The next thing we have is a chocolate candy coating. So you don't necessarily need to use this brand, but something that you can melt and that has like a hard chocolate to it. So this is something that I got at Kroger. It's like a Kroger brand chocolate candy coating. The next thing is fondant. And if you're not familiar with fondant, it's used for cake icing. And I got this at Michael's. So what it is it's 4 different colors. There's black, and there's dark brown, and light brown, and a pink. But you'll be using the black and the dark brown to mold the actual body and arms and head of the baby Groot with this fondant. So that's the next thing you need. And this is a balloon stick. So what I did is the balloons that you can get at the grocery store, you just take the top off and you end up with a stick. So that's going to be going inside the pot, and it will hold the baby Groot. The next thing is you can choose whatever flavor cake you like. I chose a lemon supreme, but you can really choose any flavor. There'll be the chocolate on the outside, and there'll be chocolate cookies crushed on top, so you won't actually see the color of the cake. So you can really choose any flavor of cake you like. So I chose the lemon supreme, and I'm also going to have a filling. So this is a lemon curd filling, or you can use buttercream or whatever you prefer to have between the layers of the cake. Or if you just want to have layers of cake without the filling, you can do that too. The last thing I want to show you is the cookies, and these are like a Kroger brand Oreo cookie. And what we're going to do is crush the dark part of these, not the white center, but the dark part, to make it look like dirt around the top. So that's what these are for. So on the next part of the video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to put the cake together. So you're going to be coating the inside, and once that's all coated on the inside, then we're going to let it harden. So I'm just moving it around as much as I can and getting it coated pretty evenly all the way around. So that's it, and I'll show you the finished product. Okay, for the next step, what we're doing is the inside has been coated with chocolate, completely inside the container, and that's all melted chocolate, and I've let it set for a few hours in the refrigerator so it's nice and hard. And now what I'm going to do is have Mike show us how to cut the container away from the chocolate, so you're left with just the chocolate pot. So Mike, if you want to go ahead, and he has an X-Acto blade.
With a brand new blade. So I put a brand new blade on because I want it really, really sharp. Mm-hmm. And when I first started doing it, I took this and I started scoring it, especially at the lip here. I started scoring at the lip very, very carefully. Started scoring it along the length. So you can actually see I've actually cut it here, but what I did is I ended up cutting along here very, very carefully, taking very, very patient. Once I cut through this top part, now I knew I was all the way through, and then I started drawing and cutting it right down to the bottom. Cutting it right down to the bottom until I created a groove. Mm-hmm. And then very carefully I started working my way. I started off the top, and I started working away, and so I saw them peeling away slightly. So I saw it as I saw it moving. I moved on to the next section. As soon as I saw it was moving a little further down, started scoring further down until I worked my way all the way to the bottom.
Okay, so now what you do is you just, where you have that piece that's completely separated all the way down, you're able to pull that apart, and then you can just lift your pot out of the container. So you are, and we will clean off the edges around the top, but basically you're left with a chocolate container that looks like a flower pot. So do you want to hold that, Mike?
You better hide that tonight, because otherwise you might be having a big bite out of it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be our Groot container for our baby Groot. Do you want to hold it up, Mike, so they can really get a good look at the side? And yeah, so that just gives you an idea of what the pot looks like for our baby Groot. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and clean around the top edge so it's not so rough around the top. And the next step is to bake the cake tomorrow and put the layers of cake with the filling in between. And actually another step is to have an area inside for your balloon stick to fit in. So that'll be the next step, is I will show you how to just have a little piece of melted chocolate and a place for your stick to fit inside. So then it'll go through the layers of cake, but it'll also have a little area in here that it will adhere to. So it'll be a lot more steady and stable. So you agree, chocolate? Okay, thank you very much.
We are making a cake with chocolate.
Yeah. Okay. So that's it for now. So basically what I'm doing here is I am cutting around the cake. I've got my lid as my template, and I'm going to be taking out this circle of cake and placing it inside my chocolate container. Okay, so what we have here is I have the cake inside the pot, the chocolate pot, and it's just layered cake with the lemon cream or whatever filling you want to have, and it's layered up, and I've already put the crushed Oreo cookies on top, so you can see it has the kind of dirt effect. And around the bottom is the coconut, and that's optional. It's just shredded coconut with a few drops of green food coloring to make it look like grass. So now what I want to show you is the fondant and how to make the body. So basically what I did is I took the dark brown fondant and the pink fondant or vanilla or however you want to do it, and I marbled them. So I basically just put them together and just kept moving them back and forth until you get this marbling effect. And it's real easy to work with. It's very pliable. And so I have what is about the size of the body that I want to use for the baby Groot. And I have my balloon stick, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be threading that onto the body through the fondant and onto the balloon stick. And after you get this on, you can cut off whatever excess. If you feel like it's a little bit much or not quite the right size, you can always adjust and cut off as you need to. So that's really basically the start of our, and you want to have kind of a twisted effect, kind of, like a tree log or that kind of marbly effect. So by twisting it, that helps with that. So now in the next step, I'm going to show you how to do the head part of your baby Groot.
Okay, so now we're going to do the head. And first of all, what we're going to do is going to get the kind of the sprout-like head by taking lots of these multiple little cuts out of the top. Like that. So go all the way around. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and make some of those smaller ones. Kind of make it more interesting. Kind of get this little sprout-like little piece out here. It's a little sticky, so it's a little tricky to do. Okay, just a little bit. Okay. And then what I'm going to do here is, next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach it right on. So we're going to drop it right in. Attach it like that. There we go. And kind of open things up a bit. So we can look more Baby Groot. Fix up the face a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the mouth right out. Good start. And kind of fix up the smile. Touch it up a bit.
Okay.
Fix it up a bit. Okay.
Thank you to my assistant. Okay, for the next step we're going to do the eyes, and I have this black fondant, and you're just going to take it and make them nice and round, and you're just going to place them where the eyes would be, and you can adjust it as far as the size, like that might be a little bit big, but yeah, it's a little bit. And again, you can kind of play around with the face and the eyes and move these around, and that might be, yeah, a little bit big for the eyes.
Go ahead.
Okay, so now I'm going to be cutting just a skewer stick in half to get the stick for the arms. So they're going to go in like this. So what we're going to do next is actually just divide this piece and roll it out so we have enough for the arms. We might need to add a little bit more as we go, but basically you're just kind of rolling it out and, you know, making kind of little arms. So we'll do that for both sides, and that's it. So now what I'm doing is I'm creating like the vine effect that goes around the body, and so I'm just rolling out, I put a little bit of black and a dark brown fondant together, and I'm rolling it out in a nice long strip. And I've already put some of this on, but basically you're just kind of draping it. However, you can use your own creativity with it, but just drape it around however you think it can go. And you want to just kind of get kind of a nice little vine effect to it. And I'll kind of play around with that and adjust it a little bit. But you also want to do the same thing. We have our the arms, and what we did is we just put the fondant on, and you kind of twist it around to make it look like a tree branch. You cut the ends to make them look like hands, and then you're going to want to do the same thing. So you want to just kind of wrap that around that piece so it creates kind of a little viney effect to it. And you want to set up the whole cake. It's not going to hold. However you can get it in there. You want to set up the whole cake right before you serve it, because you want to let the fondant set a little bit. So it's going to be something like that. We'll get both arms on, but we'll show you the finished product when we get it all together.